So yeah, as you can see from the title, this is 9 out of 10 fragrances, and how could they be made into 10 out of 10 fragrances? Which is an interesting idea. Not my idea. I'm not going to take credit for it. This was Rose and Jones Lizzie's idea. It's just a kid struggling with fragrances. And there are them fragrances that, to be fair, we absolutely adore. But there's something missing from them. Something that would make them. That's not to say any of these fragrances aren't absolutely incredible as they are, because then that's what the fragrances are. But if I was like, you know, Mr. Estee Lauder or Mr. L'Oreal, who actually was into perfume, you know, I'm not going to go into this room and go, oh, this is wonderful, but what I want you to do is make it much cheaper, add some unblocks in, take all the creativity out, make it smell like that one smelled very good. No, it wouldn't be that sort of kind of brand owner. It would be just let's ump this up, let's put a little bit of something to make it from good to special. So yeah, that's it. I don't know what that rant was about. Well, we all do, we're all annoyed with how things are going, but anyway, let's crack on. First up is from Papillon. Now I know it's always risky to put an indie fragrance in these because they are brilliant art in themselves, and they're exactly as the perfumer wanted them to be. There's no pressures on them, but this was always the one I was the most excited about from the brand, and that's Salome, from Papillon. Now I think Papillon are brilliant. Liz Moore's is fantastic. I think this fragrance is absolutely incredible as well. I just can't wear it. That's all I'm saying. So what I change about it, I mean, basically it's like these indolic white florals, and a touch of, well, some cumin, and this kind of spicy, carnal, indolic, naughty, dirty, vintage floral kind of feeling one. It is absolutely incredible. Now, what I do, the only thing I change, one little thing, is a little bit less cumin. Now I can wear cumin and I love it, but this one wears me. That's the only problem. The cumin seems to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. I don't dislike the smell, but it completely envelops it. It just comes on me too much. My skin does amplify certain things, and that it's just what it is. Like I say, it is a 10 out of 10 fragrance, but for me personally, because I can't wear it, I just want that little bit of cumin knocked down. Maybe put some, you know, vegan kind of civet, you know, synthetic civet castoreum in the bottom to add a different kind of dirtiness to it. That's just me. Like I say again, it's a great fragrance, but that's what I change. So that's Salome from Papillon Perfumes. Next is a bit of a cheap one. It's Chanel's Coco. Back when this came out, I imagine it was a little naughtier and a little dirtier than it is. But basically, we all know Coco. It's kind of, again, it's that ambery, spicy, floral. It's, you know, some florals in there. The beautiful, amazing, what's it called? Cloves. The warmth, the kind of, the florals, elegant and classy. It's big, it's musky. There's this tiniest hint of civet in the base. Now what I'd do is I'd switch it up with the last one, and I'd say I put a ton of civet in this. I'd maybe even put a little bit of cumin in there, just something to really dirty it up. Maybe add some leather, because this one is still too classy. So it's alright, we'll say it's a 9.9 out of 10. But it's just a little bit too classy and a little bit too pretty. I want it to have a bit more grrr about it. Again, there's nothing wrong with the fragrance, and we all know it's one of my favourite fragrances ever. I don't know why I need to keep putting these disclaimers in, but I do love this fragrance. I think it's fantastic. But it can be made into a 10 out of 10, just with a little bit more filth. A little bit more, you know, some more pissy indolic florals in there. Just something to make it slightly less friendly and rounded off and modern. You know, I know Chanel don't do exciting fragrances, but it just could be, just with that little push, So that's a Coco from Chanel. Next, these are all ones I own by the way, is Rogers 51. Now I do love this fragrance, however I struggle to wear it because it's so goddamn boring. I mean literally it's one of the most boring fragrances I've ever tried or worn. Again, I love it, it's pretty, it's nice, it's like roses, it's I get a violety feel, soft powdery pink, there's lots of florals in there, it's kind of sweet and easy, there's a gentle muskiness about it, but it is just like most Roja perfumes, so run of the mill, so Guerlain put in a different bottle with 4 billion listed ingredients that aren't really there probably. I love it, but I just want it to do something, just to be slightly interesting. And what I'd say to that is, I wouldn't actually go as far as putting anything overly animalic in it. Maybe it had a bit of a dirty muskiness, just a slight gentle one in it. That in itself would make it smell more interesting. But I'd also put something like a carnation or a lily in it, so added this kind of spicy, edgy floral touch to it with the pretty florals. Because how many there's just so many fragrances like this one. I got it for a very good price. I would not have paid retail for it, but it's lovely. But it just needs that something interesting, some little spark of creativity from someone who doesn't just want to make really pretty run-of-the-mill stuff. Give it some oomph, give it some personality. So yeah, that's Roja's 51. Next is Sacrilege. I know I'm going to get done for this. I'd say this is a 10 out of 10 fragrance, but if I wanted to make it into something more, this is what I'd do to it. So it's Insolence from Guerlain, which is the kind of, it's obviously powdery violets with a rich kind of violetiness in there. There's the berries, which add a little bit tart sweetness. Again, it's fairly musky and lovely. There's lots of other stuff going on, but it is ultimately this kind of powdery, heavenly violet fragrance. Now, if I was from LVMH, no, it wouldn't happen, would it? They wouldn't make it cost any more or be interested. But what I want with Insolence, I want a fragrance like this, is I'd add a little bit of oud in the bottom. Not a dirty skanky oud, just an oud to add a rich woody feel there. And then I'd add some smoke. And maybe a little kind of tiny touch of leather. But mainly smoke, leather, the really woody oud. I think it would just give this fragrance a whole dimension. And there doesn't seem to be, apart from oud satin mood, a kind of violet oud kind of thing. I don't understand why you put rose oud, but not violet oud. Because violet is a kind of much darker, and in some ways sweeter. It's not just powdery, is it? Kind of floral. I think the two would marry together really nicely. And I think with that, a smoky powderiness would be, well, I think it'd be heavenly. But that's how I'd make Insolence into a, well, we'll say a 10 out of 10 fragrance. We'll call it a 9.9 at the moment. Because again, there are many fragrances like Insolence out there. As much as I love it, and it is probably one of the best, if not the best of its type, yeah, just add something a bit exciting, man. Next, a quick one. I love this fragrance, I really do. I got it for a Christmas present, I think, from Lizzie, the aforementioned Rose and Jones. And that's a dropped Issey. Now, I'm a lilac lover. I don't think you could get any kind of better, more springy summer floral than lilac. As far as its sweetness and its kind of that greenness about it. Now, a dropped Issey is lilac. It's kind of creamy almond milk, is it? It's kind of a little bit milky, sort of. And then it's got this kind of clean aspect to it. There's a little bit of kind of a greenness in there. What is in there that doesn't always bother me. Now, if I'm wearing it on a cold day, I'll be absolutely honest, I forget it's there and it doesn't give me a headache. As soon as the temperatures are, you know, over zero, the ambroxan starts to pump So all I do with this fragrance, simple as, take out the ambroxan. Why is it there? Doesn't need to be there, does it? If you need that kind of grainy, musky feel, just put white musk in it, a little bit, not much. You don't need ambroxan. I know it's cheap, people, but you just don't need to put ambroxan in everything. Now I could switch this up to modern times, because ambroxan got too expensive and scarce, didn't it? You don't need to put cashmere in everything, people. It's not necessary. What happened to real ingredients? You know, or getting creative with synthetics so that they're not these really dense, harsh, headache-inducing things. But again, I like a drop Issey. I just wish that aspect of it wasn't there. So yeah, a drop Issey from Issey Miyake. Next is Tom Ford, believe it or not, and that's Velvet Orchid. Now I'm not trying to make it into Black Orchid before anyone says it. I love Velvet Orchid as it is, but again, oh, I do really love it. But what I'd like in there, because that's kind of these lilac-y, honeyed, well, it's kind of got a bit of purple floral kind of feeling through it. Not too much. Obviously the other florals, the fancy orchid notes, it's got this kind of sweet darkness about it. But what it could do with is some absolute filth in there. A big punch. I'd go for Castoreum over Civet. A kind of a more dirty kind of, that kind of vibe, you know, rather than the kind of furry bum one. And I'd also add some leather, some dark black sticky leather to the base, and I think that would just make this fragrance go from goth light and pretty to full on goth. You know, this would be Wednesday Addams in a bad mood kind of fragrance. I think that would just work perfectly for it. You know, proper Jenna Ortega black makeup, black lipstick, long leather boots and all of that. So that would take it from being a little bit more gentle to a proper fragrance. And why the hell wouldn't Tom Ford do something like that? It wouldn't nowadays, but back in the day it should have been a little bit braver with it, I think. So, but it's perfect as it is. Like I say, I like it. Velvet Orchid from Tom Ford. Next is Penhaligons Luna. This is my spring in a bottle. I love this fragrance. It's basically like watery florals. I kind of get a mountain stream. That's what I get, because the juniper makes the water thick and fresh. It's watery like that with jasmine petals all over it and floating peaches. It's got, some reason, it's got a peachy kind of vibe to me. And then the kind of nicer, drier woods in the base. But what it is with this one, I can wear it, and I love wearing it, and I can wear it in the spring. As soon as it starts to get a little bit hotter, it can go a little bit with the jasmine, won't it? A little bit sharp hairspray like. Which is not an easy thing to wear, is it really? I want less of the sharpness, I want it smoothed off more. You know, maybe, as much as it's not my favourite note in the world, maybe a bit more juniper. A bit more kind of a lily of the valley even, just to smooth off that kind of sharper jasmine thing, which goes quite hairspray in the as it gets hotter and hotter. And I suspect as well there's probably a little bit of ambroxan in this, which again will explain the sharpness and the headaches as well. So I just take all that crap out, smooth off the jasmine. There you go. This fragrance would be a 10 out of 10. So that's Penhaligons Luna. Next is another big favourite that will get me shot, but it's Lipstick Rose from Frederic Malle. Okay, I love this fragrance, and sometimes it's a 10 out of 10, sometimes it's not. Now what the problem with this one is it's violet, iris, rose, beautiful. I think there's a raspberry in it, probably. It's magnificent. It is what it says. It's Lipstick Rose, and it smells like that. It's magnificent. Now what makes this one stand out is the thing I'd change. It's the grapefruit. Now sometimes a grapefruit, absolutely don't notice it at all, and I enjoy it without that. But when I do notice it, yes, it adds a nice edge, a nice bit of sharp something different in there. But sometimes it completely ruins it for me. I'm not a lover of a grapefruit note. So what I do is a simple one with this to make it a 10 out of 10. I just replace it with a red grapefruit, so that when the grapefruit shows through it, it's a little sweeter and more juicy, rather than that kind of sharpness that you get from a normal grapefruit. In real life, I bloody love grapefruits, but in my nice, soft, gentle, you know, sensual, lipsticky perfume, I don't really want that in there. So yeah, that's it, simple as that. All I do is change the grapefruit note to a red juicy grapefruit note. Job's a good one, sorted. Maybe a bit more raspberry, we're sorted. Perfect fragrance. That's Lipstick Rose from Frederic. The last one again is quite a simple switch. It's Kilian's Angel Share. Now, we all love this one, but what I've always said about it is an amazing fragrance. I love it, I love wearing it. It is very well done actually. It's probably the last well done one from Kilian before it became completely estayed to death with flanker after flanker and boring fragrance that smells like another one of... Anyway, what I do with Angel Share is this kind of, it starts off with this bright fruity brandy, and it obviously eventually starts to turn more woody and tonkery. Sometimes you get a little bit of cocoa in there. There's the spices, not too much cinnamon, but it's got that kind of thing. Now the problem with this fragrance is it's probably the best of its type. It ain't unique, it isn't remotely unique. It's so run-of-the-mill and kind of generic, but really well done. And like I say, I can't get enough of it. I love wearing it. I'm not criticising the fragrance, but it isn't very inspiring or creative. So what I do is that fruity brandiness you get in the beginning, like I'd amp that up, maybe put a bit of pear in there, a rich kind of darker pear to go with the brandy, just to balance that out. And what I'd also do is I'd just add some smoke. That's it, simple as. A nice smoky note, not incense, like a dark black cady smoke, you know, that kind of feel, or a silver birch, something really smoky with a bit of an edge. And how good would that smell with the brandy and the woodiness in there? It just smell like just almost, it's not jazz club, but it give that kind of feeling of a smoke filled club, wouldn't it, with a log fire burning, maybe burning off the old barrels, filling the air with the magical smell of the brandy and everything about it. Would just give it more of an edge and that fruitiness, which is not over the top. This is what I want the pear to kind of balance, a sweeter, stickier booziness about it. And then the smoke, it would be a 10 out of 10 fragrance. Now I've not tried the new version, but what I literally imagine it is exactly like Angel Share, but in the beginning there's a bit of raspberry, and it costs 50 quid more because of that. Yeah, go Estee Lauder. I imagine it's boring, I imagine it's nonsense. I haven't sniffed it, so how dare I say that. But that's what I do to make Angel Share into a perfect 10 out of 10 fragrance. Just make it unique and interesting. And I know Estee Lauder don't do that. They just add more ambroxan and make it smell like all the rest of the fragrance brands they own, because they all have the same cheap ingredients in them. They just charge more for the name, allegedly, maybe, in my personal opinion. End of it. Anyway, bye. So yeah, I love this idea of a video, because there are fragrances, and it doesn't mean we don't love them. And it doesn't mean the perfumers haven't met the brief, aren't wonderful, talented people, haven't created what they set out to do, and that's what we've got to be happy with. But if I was like say I had the power just to say, let's tweak this, put a bit of this in, to make it for me. I'm not the masses, they've got to make money at the end of the day, because that's all they exist for. Don't exist to create art anymore now, do they, or something interesting, or to make people feel like individuals or unique. We're all sheep who smell the same, of cashmere and ambroxan, whatever. Anyway, my point is, these are how I'd make them more me. It's like I feel a bit bad putting Salome in here, because Liz, this is exactly what she wanted. It's perfect. But for me, because I want to wear it, the selfishness in me, it's just let's tweak it a little bit, let's just tone it down. That's all it is. Anyway, what about you? Are there any fragrances that you just wish you could tweak one or two elements? What would their elements be? Are the fragrances beyond saving? I mean, that would fill my comments, wouldn't it? Just so many of them that yeah. Anyway, it's the end of the video. I'm out of breath. Thanks for watching. Bye.